Yesterday, he pleaded guilty to 37 different charges, different counts of mishandling classified documents since he left the presidency. He went on to accuse President Biden of basically abusing his power and a politically motivated police investigation into him. This is what he had to say about the decline of America at a Miami restaurant just moments after his court appearance.
I think it's going great. I think it's a rigged deal here. We have a rigged country. We have a country that's corrupt. We have a country that's got no borders. We have a country that's got nothing but problems. We're a nation in decline, and then they do this stuff. And you see where the people are. We love the people, and you see where they are. You see the crowds and everything else. We have a country that is in decline like never before.
Well, he also spoke at a fundraiser in Miami later on when he took aim at those charges against him.
Today we witness the most evil and heinous abuse of power in the history of our country. Very sad thing to watch. A corrupt sitting president had his top political opponent arrested on fake and fabricated charges of which he and numerous other presidents would be guilty. Right in the middle of a presidential election in which he's losing very badly.
Well, I mean, apologies for the quality of that audio, but let's find out what Amy Tarkanian makes of that. She's a Republican strategist. She's former chair of the Nevada Republican Party. Good morning to you, Amy.
Good morning.
Thank you very much indeed for joining us. I mean, it was absolutely astonishing yesterday to see what was happening. We've seen President Trump in court before on civil cases and federal charges in New York involving campaign funds believed to have been paid to Stormy Daniels, the porn actress with whom he's having an affair. But this is genuinely, the word historic gets thrown around a lot. It is genuinely historic. The first US former president who's been facing federal criminal charges. And these are very serious criminal charges. Each one of them on their own could lead to a decade or more behind bars. First of all, do you agree with President Trump when he says that these are politically motivated charges and this is the most evil and heinous abuse of power by Joe Biden?
Well, I think that you can actually agree and believe two things. One, that he uses the term witch hunt, and I think that most citizens would actually believe that this is a political witch hunt to some degree. Now, the second thing is you can also believe and understand that he has broken the law, most likely. Of course, you're innocent until proven guilty. But if you listen to most of those who were very loyal to him when he was president, or for those who worked underneath him when he was president to some extent, there's not one person out there who can actually say he did nothing wrong. 100% he did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
It's mind-blowing to me that if he's going to claim that justice is being served unequal and that he's a constant target, then why would you take at least one piece of paper? Why would you take one document?
Well, and it does appear this is the norm. We've seen, Mike Pence, when he was vice president, Joe Biden, when he was vice president, they leave office with these confidential documents. I mean, this is it. This is just a small number of those confidential top secret documents, some involving nuclear secrets, defense weaknesses, the United States, stuff that if it fell into the wrong hands would genuinely be the cause for concern for national security for America. Now, he's denied 31 counts of willful retention of national defence information. Each of those carries a maximum fine of $250,000 or 10 years in prison as a penalty. 4 further charges with a jail term of up to 20 years. That's including conspiracy to obstruct justice and corruptly concealing a document or record, and 2 further charges with, again, maximum penalties of 5 years. Now, a lot of people are saying, look, yeah, Joe Biden had these documents. Yeah, Mike Pence had documents. But the point is that when the FBI got in touch and said, can we have our documents back, please? You're not supposed to have these. They handed them over and gave free entry. And it was all sort of, oh, sorry, I didn't realise. Donald Trump, part of these charges is that there is a tape recording of him discussing with his lawyer and others, about trying to hide these files and trying to keep these files, and about him knowing that they were classified. I mean, it may well be that if he is found guilty, he'll be found guilty with his own words.
Correct. He's his own worst enemy. And so he's on those tapes gloating to another individual saying, look at what I have. Whether if these were classified or declassified, this other individual obviously was not privy to this information, or shouldn't have been. And he also said yesterday in one of his speeches that he was just so busy. He has a busy life, and that's why he didn't have time to go through the boxes and return the items to the National Archives. This is not something to be taken lightly, and he just seems to kind of brush things off, thinking that he's going to be able to get through this. But in the process, while he's trying to get through this, he's emotionally bringing down those who are devoted to him. And they are willing to keep their head in the sand to some extent because they are so disgusted and exhausted of the fact that they have seen Vice President Biden at the time, Hillary Clinton, with her email scenario. You can compare and contrast till the day is long, but still, you look at this separately, and what he did clearly is wrong. So you cannot have people wanting to just say, hey, well, they did it. Well, they did it. Well, they did it. Does it make it right? It doesn't make it right. So obviously we need to change some laws.
He was quite right about Hillary Clinton using her personal email account. She'd been warned not to do so. She was not allowed to do so. The funny thing was, of course, that Donald Trump's own children, when they were, and son-in-law, when they were working as his advisors in White House, that they did exactly the same thing. I mean, this is it. It seems to me there's some major security issues going on there. I mean, the big question of this here, and we're asking today, is will these criminal charges strengthen or weaken Donald Trump's bid to win the White House in 2024? It's extraordinary that when he does face time in court, that does seem to boost his support, particularly among the Republican base. Do you think, I mean, this will hurt him or hinder him, his chances to, A, win the Republican nomination, which is the first step along the way, and B, his chances of winning back the White House?
Well, I think for the primary, once again, because you have Republicans who feel like they have been abused for years and that they have not been treated fairly, and the MAGA devoted who think that Trump can do no wrong. And so they're going to have his back to the end of the day. And so I think it's going to strengthen him. We're already seeing his poll numbers go up even more, and his fundraising efforts are increasing dramatically. He had his first fundraiser yesterday, in fact, and doubled down. And so, it's a crazy scenario, actually, as an American citizen to witness, because you think that would be the end of the road for him, but it's not the case.
For any other politician, it would be the end of the road. Everything he's done in 2016, during the head of the campaign, I mean, everyone, apparently, including our own ambassador at the time, thought he hasn't got a chance because of what he'd known. He does defy political gravity, doesn't he?
He does, but I think when it comes time to a general, because for instance, in Nevada, where I'm from, the largest, fastest growing party is third party registration. And so he's going to have to be able to bring in those independents and nonpartisans and those soft Democrats. And I just don't see that happening when the general comes.
Indeed, it's going to be absolutely fascinating to watch. And of course, they'll be trying to expedite those charges being heard in court sooner rather than later, because he's already facing federal charges in New York and a case next March as well. It's going to be a busy old year for Donald Trump and his lawyers. Great to talk to you, Amy Tarkanian, Republican strategist. Thank you so much. 7:32 is the time. This is Talk Breakfast.